Guys, what is up? This is the Club of Demand 1993 coming at you for another live review, the second of 2018 and the first live review of SmackDown Live, the house that AJ Styles built. The January 2nd, 2018 episode of SmackDown Live just finished up, and it took place tonight in the land where dreams come true, Orlando, Florida. Disney World, if you want to say that way, which I'm jealous of those of you who, were at the show tonight or were close by tonight, because I haven't been to Disney World in 14 years now. But still, anyways, my hype is very up, and I'm so pumped to talk about this review, because let me tell you something. Charlotte was right then when he said that magic, or whoever said that, dreams do come true in Disney World, pretty much, whatnot. Because let me tell you something. We had a good show tonight on SmackDown Live. It made my day. I was so happy. I loved this episode of SmackDown Live. Great job to Road Dogg. I can't believe saying that. Thank you, Road Dogg, for putting on a good episode of SmackDown Live. And I'm looking forward to talking about this. So let's get right into it. So last week, we had a match between Kevin Owens and AJ Styles. And Sami Zayn, though, was out in Kevin Owens' corner. And because of Shane coming out and trying to get Sami Zayn kicked out from being on at ringside because he was causing interference in the match, we had caused a distraction by AJ Styles, and Kevin Owens was able to get the victory, pinning the champion himself. So because of that, Shane McMahon wasn't too happy with Daniel Bryan because he's been suspecting, there's been some favoritism going on here with Daniel Bryan favoring Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, because Daniel Bryan seems to be, testing the limits as well on Shane McMahon, just trying to get him to, play a little more fairly and whatnot, as he sees that he's just having his personal vendetta, as he's starting to believe as well, against Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. So, again, he's like stepping in there trying to, prevent him from being Mr. McMahon, as he said a few weeks ago. So it's going to play into effect of what will happen tonight with our main event, AJ Styles versus Sami Zayn. Well, we'll find out as we talk about this show. So the show opens up with AJ Styles making his way to the ring. He wishes all a happy new year and welcomes us to the first SmackDown Live of the year. He says he's sure a lot of people on the roster and around the world have New Year's resolutions. So does he. He's taking the championship to WrestleMania and walking out with it still around his waist. And that's not going to happen with Sami Zayn and Shane McMahon getting involved. So that leads to his second resolution, to beat Sami Zayn tonight on SmackDown Live. The question is, though, with the man that allowed Sami Zayn to be in Kevin Owens' corner last week, will that same thing happen tonight with Sami Zayn, with Kevin Owens being in Sami Zayn's corner? So then he invites Daniel Bryan down to the ring. Here comes Daniel Bryan. Now, when Daniel Bryan entered though, I realized that the yes chants were slowly going down a little bit. So, not just by the crowd. The crowd was hot for Daniel when he came out the first time, but Daniel himself didn't do too many yes chants. Of course, as there is some suspicion going on, what's Daniel Bryan's role here? As it seemingly is that he is, not really, on good terms with Shane McMahon, as I said before. So he comes down to the ring, and when he's about to, just explain, what's going to be happening tonight, out comes Shane as well. He gets into the ring, and of course, as always, he says, what's up, Orlando? Just pump the crowd, as both, corporate figures on SmackDown make sure to do so as well. He says that he had the best intentions when he came to the ring last week, trying to make sure it was a level playing field, but his actions, though, led to Styles losing. He apologized to AJ, and AJ accepted the apology. Shane says he's been accused of having a vendetta against Zayn and Owens, and he thinks Daniel Bryan believes that. And as much as he has issues with those two, he thinks Daniel Bryan has an equal and opposite, little kingship going on with them. But why on earth would he let Sami at ringside last week? Before he gets to that, though, he's got a bigger question. Is the yes movement becoming the yep movement? So Bryan was about to answer that, but then Shane cuts him off and also says he doesn't think he'll keep Kevin Owens from coming down tonight. So, in the spirit of fairness, since Kevin Owens will probably most likely be at ringside, Shane's going to be down at ringside as well. So I thought at first, okay, maybe in all fairness, again, it's been back and forth. Sometimes I see Daniel Bryan, seemingly playing fair here and, taking sides with Shane. But I also see sides of him as well that is showing some favoritism still. And so it's still like a mix and match. It seems like they're trying to make both Shane and Daniel Bryan have babyface momentum, but in some ways also they're acting like heels as well. So it's still tough to determine, but I am seeing a little bit more of a heelish side from Daniel Bryan, which again, I'd rather have Shane be the heel in this feud, because at this point, with how popular Daniel Bryan has come out to be, this part, it would be too hard to turn him heel and hate him pretty much. So it has the fans on their toes wondering, as this is the best thing going on for SmackDown Live right now. But Bryan says that's not exactly what he was thinking, but since he's declared himself at ringside, they might as well have KO out there. And if the both of you guys are going to be out there for the main event, then why shouldn't he? So at ringside, it will be Daniel Bryan, Kevin Owens, and Shane McMahon in the main event, Sami Zayn and AJ Styles. So it ends with a yes chant as well. So Shane seemingly to agree with it. So I'm like, all right, this thing's going to go down. Oh, hi, Lauren. How are you doing? So again, it's as I keep saying, it's going back and forth. Again, it's like showing evenly babyface and heel momentum between Daniel Bryan and Shane McMahon as well. At one point, it's shown that Daniel Bryan is just doing this for Shane's sake. But is it really the right intention? Is he actually showing favoritism for Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens? Or is he only doing this just to teach him a lesson? Is he being caught in weird spots? So again, things get even more interesting as we get further towards the Royal Rumble, and I'm sure we will get some answers when it gets towards there as well. But a good opening segment on SmackDown tonight. Lauren says, I never ended up going to SmackDown Live. It's a good thing, LMAO. But great, how are you? I mean, I'm not too bad. Again, had an all right day, but I'm all right. But this episode of SmackDown Live really pumped me up. I'm sorry you didn't get to go to SmackDown tonight, though. I thought it was a pretty decent show. We probably would have had a lot of fun. But yeah, interesting opening segment as well, and it'll play into what we get into our main event later on tonight. So then we had this match, which I forgot this match was happening until one of my friends reminded me tonight. Is it really cold down there tonight? Well, it is pretty cold up here as well. Yeah, it's like near the what temperature is it right now? Let me check actually here in Pittsburgh. It's pretty darn cold. What they're at? It's gonna be cold all week. I heard there's a lot of school strikes around my area. It's only 7 degrees right now up here. Brr. So I'm staying inside. So yeah, I forgot we were having this match. It was Chad Gable and Shelton Benjamin taking on Jimmy and Jay, the Usos, for the SmackDown Live Tag Team Championship match. And it came out there, cutting their promo of saying, tell them Us whatnot constantly. Just welcome to the Uso Penitentiary, and saying that they're going to be, beating them as well. So we get this match happening. Now, first, the match was pretty short, as we had Gable and Benjamin, getting the upper hand for the most part on the Usos as well. And then towards the end of the first part of this match, we had Benjamin take out one of the Usos, ran into the barricade, and he ran another on the other ones, leading to the that powerbomb diving lariat combination from Gable and Benjamin. And at first, it looked like Shelton Benjamin and Chad Gable won the tag title. So I'm like, okay. I mean, I was completely for it. I mean, I have no problem with them doing it. It's just I was hoping that this will also, just give them a little more, more to being heels. As I keep saying, they've been more so just, trash talking, but I want to see more of like a physical side of them as heels as well, which it showed a little bit with that. But then the interesting thing happened. The referee, Jason Ayers, came down and he showed the replay showing that that Jimmy wasn't the legal man, and also Chad Gable wasn't the legal man either. So the referee, Brian Nguyen, apologized for his mistake, and the match restarted. But Benjamin and Gable were hesitant and refusing to give up the tag titles. So the match restarted and the Usos attacked, but then it looked like Gable and Benjamin had the momentum going in there, and they looked like they're about to hit again the diving lariat combination on on the Usos again. But then I thought I liked this move. When Gable did the jump, he ran right into a super kick, and that's where the Usos got all their momentum back, and they came back and they won the match to regain the SmackDown tag titles. And at ringside on the side, you had Chad Gable just begging for one more chance. Like, we were so close. One more opportunity. I was really hoping for a post-match attack, though, by Gable and Benjamin. Again, I just want to see something a little bit more to make their heel turn more believable, not just them showing up and being heels. And this is my personal opinion as well. Let me see here. Lauren says 7. Wow, yes, it's cold here. I didn't like the tag match, though. That's all right. It's in the 40s here. Yeah, that's pretty cool for Florida. I'm a Sheldon and Chad fan. Yes, yeah, that's right. No Shinsuke or Randy tonight. That was a little disappointing, though. And why is Carmella in the Royal Rumble? Yeah, it's true. I mean, she is Miss Money in the Bank. At least it's not one of the champions being in the Rumble, unless if this is for a purpose. Well, also, they have a lot of spots to fill as well. So, I mean, I'm all right with Carmella being in the Women's Royal Rumble. But we'll talk about that women's segment a little bit later on tonight. But yeah, so I mean, yeah, the matches were a little short, not really the best, but to me, they were so good, had an interesting angle, and hopefully it'll set up for something more to come down the line between these two teams. But I can't complain. I still enjoyed it. Backstage, though, we had Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn being interviewed. And Kevin Owens is asked if he will be affecting the outcome tonight. He denies and says, "What's going to be different about tonight from last week?" I mean, this morning he had an omelet, as Sami says. Yep. Last week, they were in Chicago. This week, they're in Orlando. That's different. Yep. But the outcome won't be different tonight because Sami is going to beat AJ Styles. And the way Sami was like, yep, that's pretty much true. And then Sami mentions how Daniel Bryan is not really playing favoritism. He's just being a good general manager, and nothing really changes the reality of the situation. And this continues to be, well, he messed up and said 7 at first. He meant to say Sami and Kevin show. And that's how Sami's going to tear the house down that AJ Styles built brick by brick. So then we had the next match, which was another rematch between the Bludgeon Brothers and Breezango. The match didn't even start, though, as the Bludgeon Brothers just attacked and beat down Breezango. Then the Ascension came out, and the Bludgeon Brothers just squashed them as well. So I don't know if this is going to be setting up for like a 4-on-2 a 4-on-2 handicap match, or not, like next week just to squash them. Or if this is just, again, the only thing that I'm worried about is this going to lead to Ascension being revealed to be the ones that, we were the ones who attacked Breezango the whole time. That would just be ridiculous if they would just go with that. And Lauren, I'll answer your live chat questions. Who do you think is Charlotte facing at WrestleMania? Well, I have heard rumors that the 4 horsewomen of WWE and the 4 horsewomen of MMA might be scratched. So if that's the case, I mean, really, who else on SmackDown Live is really worth facing Charlotte at WrestleMania at this point? Nothing against like most of the other superstars. I mean, I'm fans of it, but it's like no one else feels like qualified to me. I mean, unless they turn Becky Lynch heel, which I don't want her to turn heel yet until they establish more baby faces on SmackDown Live, because there is way too many. So in my case, I would want to hopefully see, as I am predicting her to still debut in the Royal Rumble match, I want to see Ronda Rousey face Charlotte at WrestleMania. That's my option for the SmackDown Women's Championship. Daniel Bryan is the heel in this Shane feud. I am really starting to believe that after what happened, but again, we'll see what happened. Where's everyone tonight on this chat? Yeah, where's everybody? TN Couponer, Robbie, where are you guys at? Did you like Raw or SmackDown better? I'll mention that at the end. Let me see here. Breezango shouldn't even be in WWE anymore. Well, Tyler Breeze, I would want to still see him, but if they would book him better as a singles competitor. Fandango, without Breezango, I mean, I was entertained by Breezango with the Fashion Files segments up until Battleground. That's when they all became so pointless. After that, it's just like I don't even care at this point. But so again, if you want to just split them up and keep Tyler Breeze and release Fandango, I'd be fine with that. What do you think of the WWE title match at the Royal Rumble? I'll get to that at the end as well. Becky could face Charlotte at WrestleMania. Yeah, sure. Not a Ronda fan. That's completely fine. Do you think 2018 will be a good year for WWE? Again, if they have the potential, as long as they use these talent properly and put on decent shows like they did tonight and just do fair booking, I think it could be a good year. They have the roster, just put more effort into their booking. Thank you for the questions, Lauren. But anyways, we continue on with the review. We had a backstage segment with the New Day trying to get Xavier Woods to guess the present they got him for the new year. He has several incorrect guesses, but then it ends up being a pancakes, which I had some this morning from King's with chocolate chips. It ends up being pancakes in the shape of 2018 with whipped cream, yummy, and even a candle. And points out if he wins the United States Championship, they all will win the United States Championship. As tonight, he'll be facing Aiden English in the first round of the United States Championship tournament. He goes to blow out the candle, make his wish, but then Rusev Day appears because every day is Rusev Day. And Aiden says he wishes for every single day to be Rusev Day. And that's exactly what's going to happen when he beats Xavier Woods and moves on to be the United States champion. And Rusev mocks they were acting like children and blowing out candles out and making wishes. And he blows a candle out for them to show what he thinks of their wish. He's pretty much saying, screw this. So then we back from commercial, which I gotta give a good shout out to this man, Mojo Rawley, who he cut a promo just pretty much just short and sweet, just saying how Nancy's gonna beat Zack Ryder and he'll put him back where he belongs. Woo, 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 you know it. I tweeted because I know people thought this promo was just boring and pointless and weak, but again, I still am very interested in seeing Mojo as a heel based off of the stuff that he has been posting on Twitter and on Instagram and on social media. And his build was pre-show match, even though they didn't do much on the actual show. And in the match he had with Zack Ryder himself, this whole little killer instinct thing, it's got me so interested. So again, I just tweeted again to, push Mojo and give him a chance in his U.S. tournament. And again, Mojo liked my tweet. And Mojo's liked several of my tweets on Twitter. So again, thank you, Mojo. I should tweet him that. Thank you, Mojo, as well. Let me see here. Let me see. What do you think of Cena being in the Rumble? Could add some star power. Hopefully he's used properly. I've heard some rumors about I read some rumors the other day about what his role could be if he does win the Royal Rumble match. I got to read that article again. Do you think the WWE needs new tag teams? I mean, they could use some new tag teams as well, but the problem is maybe when they did the brand split, they should not have split up the tag team and the women's division, because it just shows that we get the same thing all the time. So there's not too much depth, really. So, I mean, we could get some new tag teams, but they just need to, if they're going to keep the division split, they need to establish some more top tag teams, not making this be just pointless teams. Like, with Gallows and Anderson teaming up with Finn Balor last night. Are they going to be forming the Balor Club and getting them back on track? Even though I'm not a fan of Gallows and Anderson really turning babyface, I'm not sure if this is going to lead to Finn Balor turning heel, though, eventually, as I mentioned last night in my Raw review. I mean, Heath Slater and Rhino are just complete jobbers right now, being fed to Braun Strowman like they were last night. And then the Ascension got nowhere. Breezango, had a little bit of juice in 2017 at some point, but now they've tanked as well. But we have Rusev Day coming up. We still have Gable and Benjamin, New Day, and the Usos. We have the Bar on SmackDown Live, which on Raw, big botch there, which I'm hoping would somehow lead to still, even after they're done in the tag title hunt, having Sheamus and Cesaro still be together to help Cesaro get his world title opportunity as well. So, yeah. Let me see here. Do you think Jinder will win the U.S. title? I think it's highly possible, even though, again, I'm still not a big fan of Jinder Mahal, but I kept saying if they will give a mid-card push, fine. I'll give it a chance and go with it. Chance to build a new star. Just don't put him back in the main event scene. I'm fine with him winning it, though. I can see it possibly coming down between Jinder and Bobby Roode at the Royal Rumble, but it could be different. You never know. We'll see what happens. Daniel wasn't cleared to wrestle. That's a shame. Dark match for tonight is Orton and Shinsuke versus Sami and Kevin. Why would they leave them off the show, though? Cena, Nakamura, and Reigns are the heavy favorites to win. Yeah, I mean, I've heard Cena, Nakamura, Reigns. I heard somewhere Seth Rollins is also being in talks winning, but I don't know how him winning it would make much of a difference. Cena, yeah, I think it was something with Cena saying he was going to win the Royal. Actually, I think that's what I read somewhere today. I think they said Cena could win the Rumble, but he would want to challenge Taker. The thing is, though, is if Taker does wrestle again, like then what's Roman Reigns going to think about that? Like, where would be the continuity there? Though, if Taker's going to wrestle one more time, it needs to make sense somehow because his send off at WrestleMania, that's going to be hard to top after have a story continuing on. That was a really sad moment as well to watch. I mean, I would be okay with it happening. I'd like to see it happen since even though what's the point of Taker wrestling at WrestleMania anymore since the streak's not on the line. But, I would like to see a match between those two as well, as long as, Taker has a little bit better match than he had last year against Roman. Form new teams. Yes. Well, hopefully we'll have AOP and maybe Sanity up as well from NXT. I don't know about maybe TM61 will come up. If TM61 comes up, because they have not been seen since I think it was Shane Thorne got injured by the Revival at the beginning of last year. I thought it would have been back by after SummerSlam, but unfortunately that wasn't the case. So I wonder if they're just going to bring them up and put them on SmackDown, put another babyface tag team on there as well. Let me see here. Roman versus Brock at WrestleMania. Again, at WrestleMania. Unfortunately, I'm worried it's going to happen again. At this point, I'm just saying whatever. As long if they do it though, just let it be a good match because their match was still good at WrestleMania 31, but I really don't want to see it again. Just get it over with and just don't have it be the main event. Nakamura and Styles should be the main event at WrestleMania. Hello, Desmond Jackson Jr. Nice show. Check your link from Twitter. I'm the guy you were talking to about the booking on SmackDown Live. Awesome. Cool. What's up, man? And we got people in live chat. So yeah, thank you for joining us, Desmond. And yes, I do agree, Lauren. WWE is way too predictable these days. So yeah, so continuing on now, though, we're at the match between Aiden English and Xavier Woods for the U.S. Championship. It was a decent match. It wasn't really, the big highlight match. It was two, guys the lower end guys of a tag team going at it. But Aiden English, had some decent matches as a tag team when he was with the Vaudevillains on NXT. On the main roster, though, after they got their tag title opportunity against the New Day last year, they went downhill. But Xavier Woods, I still appreciate how far he has come since before the New Day was formed and before New Day became legit. So I was still pleased by his performance as well, breaking out of the fireman's carry and whatnot, and the avalanche spine buster and a back body drop. But Xavier Woods got him out, and he jumped off the rope and hits him with the Grand Nanawa elbow drop, and he's going to be advancing to the semifinals, take on Jinder Mahal, which will probably happening maybe 2 weeks, I'd say, because the finals going to be at the Royal Rumble match. And then Jinder and the same bros. We're watching on his match. That's who he's facing next. And the New Day celebrate by throwing pancakes at the commentary team. Can I have some pancakes, please, guys? Let me see here. Okay, no worries, people. Let me see here. I'm sorry, Demon. My bad, man. People mess up all the time. Favorite match of 2017: Tyler Bate versus Pete Dunne for the UK Championship at NXT TakeOver Chicago. Main roster match of the year, maybe the Fatal 4-Way at SummerSlam, I'd say. And Usos and New Day at Hell in a Cell. That was awesome. Lauren can't get behind Rusev Day. I really wasn't really that much into it either. The gimmick is still a little corny to me, I feel, but as long as it's going to get Rusev somewhere, that's all I care about. What match did you guys like? And it's all right if you're never really into NXT, Lauren. That's completely fine. But yeah, Xavier Woods wins the title. Moving on now to this next match. Oh gosh, do I have to talk about this? This to me was the lowest point of the night. We had Natalya, Tamina, Lana and Carmella. Remember them, the welcoming committee? They're being interviewed. They're going to be taking on the Riot Squad. 3 heels taking on 3 heels. Just remind us that before it was a Riot Squad, there was a welcoming committee. And Carmella mentioned how 2018, the party's over for the Riot Squad. And Lana quotes some famous Americans saying only fools rush in. And Tamina just pretty much follows up by saying that's foolish. So, and yeah, whatever. The match they had was just slow, pointless, and bland. And then the Riot Squad win with some weird-looking cartwheel knee drop by Sarah Logan onto Tamina. I thought it was just bland. I'm just like, what kind of a finisher was that? Like, a big woman powerhouse like Sarah Logan. I was hoping for maybe she has like a big boot finish or something like big, like a big powerhouse was. But just that cartwheel with that knee drop onto the back of Tamina's head, I'm like, no way, screw that. Lauren says my favorite matches are AJ versus Cena. Yes, that was good. Harper versus Orton at the Elimination Chamber. That was good as well. Styles versus Orton, I like that. And Charlotte versus Sasha, 2017. Which one was that? Can you please remind me about that in 2017? Of course, remember all their matches from 2016. My favorite from that feud particularly was the Raw in Pittsburgh on July 25th, the first night of the brand split, which unfortunately I was not there in attendance live, and I wish I would. That was such a good show. Just clarify which one from 2017 that you're talking about there, if you don't mind. But after the match, Ruby Riott gets on the mic and mentions how she bets everyone here in Orlando believes in magic, but magic isn't real. It's just like the crowd. Phony. Day in and day out, we pretend our way through our dreary lives, pretending we're happy when deep down we're all miserable and we all need a strong dose of reality. So take a good look because the Riot Squad is real. And it's pretty much saying, how, all of us women are green, we're real, whatnot, blah, blah. Even though, again, I like all 3 members of this squad. But again, what's the point of this squad if they're not, part of Absolution on Raw? Again, they're just literally just copying Absolution, but they're not Absolution. They're just there just to make a statement. And again, it's a shame because I like all 3 of these wrestlers, especially Ruby Riott, who showed tonight she's excellent on the mic. But then also just leads to this Ruby Riott declaring that Sarah Logan and Liv Morgan will be entering the Royal Rumble match as well. And then came out Charlotte. And she's congratulating the Riot Squad on their victory. And she just agrees, though, that Charlotte says she's a dreamer and she's like everyone here. She believes in the power of magic, and we're going to give her a dose of her own magic. So actions have consequences. So she's going to introduce someone who wants to teach all 3 of them a lesson, which ends up being Naomi. But wait, Charlotte has one more, someone who wants to make them pay for their actions, and Becky Lynch returned. And, of course, I was happy to see Becky. We have not seen Becky since the Riot Squad debut. The 3 of them charged in there, and they beat down the Riot Squad. But Becky got her the upper hand on just Ruby Riott and Liv Morgan. She didn't get anything on Sarah Logan. So it's good to see Becky back, but I felt this whole thing just dragged out. And plus, also, didn't the Riot Squad just lose a couple weeks ago to Naomi and Charlotte? It just, the booking does not quite make any sense at all whatsoever for this pairing. I mean, I like all 3 of them. Just please book them well, but it just doesn't make any sense why they're here. I would love to see them just have first off, not have this 6-woman tag match with all 6 of them being heels. If this is a way just to bring back Becky Lynch, they should have at least had this, Ruby and or so, even not have a match, have this Ruby announce Logan and Liv are in the Rumble, and somehow Charlotte comes out to get their comeuppance from last week, and Becky Lynch comes out to it. This whole thing was just a drag, the lowest point of the night to me, in my honest opinion. Let me see here. Yeah, Becky was there tonight. Let me see here. Orton versus Owens is good as well. Also, Nakamura versus Cena and Nakamura versus Orton. Those 2 Nakamura matches were good as well. Orton and Owens, yeah, I thought they had a pretty good match also on SmackDown a few weeks ago. The Riot Squad is whack, pretty much. Paige versus Sasha was it. Okay, yeah, that was a good one. That's all right. Yeah, Becky was there tonight. How are they going to there are going to be 30 women in the Rumble. I see it having again, probably just some women from NXT like Peyton Royce, Billie Kay, maybe Ember Moon, Nikki Cross, or maybe Shayna Baszler, or anybody from the Mae Young Classic. Probably a couple past greats coming back just for a one-off thing as well. I'm seeing, so it would be interesting who shows up, because I think, not including champions, I think there was 19 superstars, women's wrestlers on the main roster. So I think it'll all work out some ways. I missed the traditional matches where you had to compete to be in the Rumble spot. That's true. They don't really do too many of those, I noticed these days. I wouldn't mind seeing those as well. We had the one last year with Seth and Sammy, where Triple H's music distracted Rollins from being in the match. Trish returning? Yes, I see Trish Stratus come back. I would love to see CM Punk return, but I'm very settled with the fact that he's not going to come back. But if he would come back, that'd be awesome, but I don't want to get my hopes up. Although I can still say I was there for his final match, the Royal Rumble back in 2014 in Pittsburgh. That was I was pretty upset whenever he when he got chokeslammed by Kane in that Rumble. Favorite WWE year? Well, it's kind of tough because I've only been watching WWE full time since 2013. So I would say maybe 2014, because I was a big Daniel Bryan fan, as you can probably tell, and he sees his rise to the top, and the Shield, when they were destructive. But I'd say I'm not sure if I can go back even further and say, because I've watched some stuff in the past. I'm still watching some stuff in the past to get caught up on some things. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'd say for now 2014 to be reasonable. 2016 was also pretty good as well, in my opinion. And yes, I that is correct. Demon Jackson. I respect you thinking Daniel's okay. Just the story of his rise to the top that was what really got me connected into watching wrestling as well. Because I don't know, I just see him as this underdog that work hard to get to the top, and I guess I always see that in myself as well. So I guess that's what really got me connected as well. And yes, I was sad though when I heard the next day, and Punk was kicked out. Oh, that's pretty cool, Demon. But anyways, getting back to this match as well. We had this backstage interview with Corbin staring to the camera, which, like Mojo Rawley, he had this weird green background in the background. And Corbin's person announced he's going to be in the Royal Rumble. But again, thinking, hey, Baron, aren't you still mad that you didn't get your U.S. title rematch? Guess not, but he's in the Royal Rumble as well. Hopefully he'll have another good showing. He had a decent one last year. Are you excited for the Raw anniversary? Yes, in fact, I am excited for the Raw 25 anniversary. I'll be having friends over to watch that night. And hopefully it should be a good go-home show. Corbin in the Rumble? Yeah, he's in the Rumble. I was disappointed as well. I really thought he was going to have a good year last year and finally, get to the top. I just did not like how they just cut his momentum off right away, right before SummerSlam like they did. That was not good as well. So, I mean, I still have hope for Corbin, but we'll see what happens. And then The Miz was advertised to return to Raw next week. And then we get our main events, AJ Styles versus Sami Zayn. Actually, well, that was 2016, darn it. But I actually was really pumped for this main event, because I do remember AJ Styles and Sami Zayn had a really good match back in 2016. I don't know if you guys remember this, but it was the episode of Raw. Right, it was right before Payback. It's when Roman and AJ were going to be facing off. And I remember Sami Zayn had a match against AJ Styles. And if Sami would have won, he would have been added into the championship match. That was a pretty good match. I remember when we did that year in Review Awards. I forgot to mention that as an honorable mention for it. That was a really good match, I thought. And yes, Miz is returning next Monday night on Raw. I missed the Miz on SmackDown in the Ryan Ward era. This match they had tonight, I thought was pretty good. And a reminder, Kevin Owens, Daniel Bryan, and Shane McMahon were all at ringside. For the most part, it was a pretty good back and forth match. I felt these two had really good chemistry, meshed very well together. They even had I really liked the part where Shane McMahon had Sami Zayn in the calf crusher. It was really challenging for Sami to break out of that, but he was able to get to the rope to break the count. He broke out of a Blue Thunder Bomb as well. And they just continued the brawl on. And things are looking good. But then things get interesting towards the end of the match as referee Mike Chioda got bumped into the floor, and Styles did have a pinfall cover up, but Kevin Owens delayed Mike Chioda from getting back in the ring, and so AJ didn't get the cover. So Shane heads over and he loses his cool and he shoves Kevin Owens. He pushes him to the ground. I'm like, oh boy, there goes Shane again, just pushing his, is a limit as authority figure, putting his hands on a superstar as well. And then Shane ordered Owens to or Chioda to throw out Owens. So then he did so, but then Daniel Bryan gets on the mic and says, hey Shane, if you're throwing out Owens, why don't you leave with him as well? And of course, AJ disposes KO, but then through that distraction, Sami Zayn hits the haluva kick on Kevin Owens. I mean, not on Kevin Owens, on AJ Styles to get the victory. So Sami Zayn gets a victory over AJ Styles due to a distraction, but it was not like just a cheap distraction. It was a good solid distraction as well but this match did make Sami look strong and win. And Owens and Zayn are celebrating on the ramp, but then Styles gets on the microphone to address all four of them. He tells Bryan and Shane to stop bickering. He doesn't care whose side they're on. And here's a thought though: why not just have Owens and Zayn fight at the same time and make it a handicap match together? Now, here's where I'm just like, okay, yeah, why would Daniel Bryan be all in for this as well? As he pretty much said, he's pretty much gone on my phone and said, yes, that's it. At the Royal Rumble, it will be AJ Styles taking on Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn for the WWE Championship. And of course, Shane is like, he much approved of that. Now, again, as I said at the beginning of this review, it seems like at times, Shane McMahon and AJ and Shane McMahon and Daniel Bryan are showing both sides of here. Okay, Daniel Bryan could be very well to heel. Shane McMahon shows some heel tactics, but at the same time, something Daniel Bryan says sound like baby faces. Sometimes Shane McMahon says something feel like baby faces. That move at the end definitely started making me feel like, okay, Daniel Bryan has been more and more of a heel. It seems like it, even though as a fan, I'm still not too keen on the idea, but it's just like, I'm sure it'll grow on me at some point. But this tension between Shane and Daniel gets interesting. So I'm interested as well to see what happens in the championship match at the Royal Rumble. I was worried at first they would make it a triple threat match, though. I didn't want it to be a triple threat match and have this 2 triple threat match for the titles. I don't like seeing too many multiple person matches at once. So as it's a handicap match, all right. I mean, I'm interested to see where it goes. It's going to have things going there. Let me see here. I'll answer your questions, Lauren. Let me see here. Hopefully there'll be lit matches return. First live WWE event, 2012. My friends had an extra ticket. I just met them recently. They were like, "Hey, Mike, I don't know if you watch this, but you want to come with me?" I'm like, sure. It was the Christmas episode where they're taping Raw and SmackDown. I was introduced to the Great Khali dressed up in an elf suit, the world's tallest Christmas elf. Now, a couple years ago, when I was a senior in high school, when I played Hermie in my high school's Christmas play, I thought I was the tallest elf there could be. The Great Khali took my standard too high that night. But then I also saw John Cena and Alberto Del Rio the night that Del Rio hurt Santa. So I'm like, this is why I got introduced to that night. But then, I was still, got invited to watch, the Royal Rumble. I saw the Elimination Chamber. I saw WrestleMania that year. And I saw SummerSlam, which was around the time where I started to get a little bit more into it again with the rise of Daniel Bryan, as I mentioned before. And then I went to the Raw in October that year in Pittsburgh, and that's where I don't know why I got hooked there. It's strange. I know it wasn't really the best booking at the time, but it's where I got hooked. So again, as I always say, I'm a little bit of a late bloomer fan. Miz was better on SmackDown Live. I agree. I was hoping that the Miz, if the Miz would have stayed on SmackDown Live, he would have eventually gotten a world title shot with how good his promos were at the end of this year in the John Cena, Nikki Bella, and Miz and Maurice feud as well. He could have been a world champion. But he's doing all right on Raw, not as good on SmackDown. AJ is the best wrestler right now in the WWE. I agree. He's the closest thing to Shawn Michaels. You saw the ending. Yes, it was awesome. Shane could also fire Daniel. I'm surprised he didn't after what happened at Clash of Champions. I really thought he was going to fire him there, especially for putting his hands on him. AJ could have lost his title. He could have, and yet Shane never agreed to the match. Your first event was in 2015. Oh, that's pretty cool. What was it? The Raw live event on August 29th saw Cena versus Rollins, Team PCB, Uso singing. Yeah, that's right. Was 2015. Oh, that was probably when Orton was probably in that dreadful feud with Sheamus. Yeah, I'm sorry. Orton and Sheamus never seemed well. They never really had a feud with Sheamus and Orton as babyface and heel. Well, roles reversed. At both times back in 2010, I saw some stuff back then. Orton was a heel back in no. Well, actually, 2010, I think at the beginning of the year, both Orton and Sheamus were heel, but Orton was starting to turn babyface. That's when Legacy was about to split up. Yeah, at the Amway Center was. But yeah, that's pretty cool. You got to see that those events take place as well. I actually got to go to SummerSlam that year in 2015. Took a trip to New York, and I also saw the Royal Rumble in Pittsburgh. So if the rumors are true about WrestleMania 35 being in New York or Philly next year, I may consider going to that as well. So hopefully it would be awesome. You thought Sheamus and Orton was a good feud in 2010? All right, cool. I just didn't like the outcomes of the matches. Well, for the ones until Orton got the upper hand finally on Sheamus at, I think it was at that six-pack challenge at Night of Champions that year, and then they had another match at Hell in a Cell. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they could have good matches, but their feud in 2015 just didn't really do much for me. The WWE ruined both of them. I mean, Orton's been all right since then. 2009 to me was definitely Orton's best year. Sheamus, again, I've always appreciated Sheamus as a wrestler, but I just wish that he had a little bit of a better character for him, honestly, throughout the years. But yeah. But thank you for your questions, Lauren, as well. Thank you for staying tuned into this live stream as well. And with that, though, that's pretty much it for SmackDown Live. I know we talked about a bunch of other stuff, but I had some good questions here being asked in the live chat, so I was more than willing to answer them. Before I go off the air, let me go on to Twitter really quick and just see my votes I got. What grade would you give SmackDown Live tonight? I got 6 votes. 50% said A, 17% said B, 17% said C, and 16% said D. And which shows you enjoy more this week, Raw or SmackDown Live? 17 votes on that. 12% Raw, 88% said SmackDown Live. And Lauren also says Orton is still great, but I don't think he cares anymore. It's a shame for me to say this, but I do kind of agree with that. I mean, I've heard rumors of him mentioning that he doesn't really like being a babyface. He would much rather be a heel, which I mean, it's not his fault he gets bad booking, but when he gets a good opportunity, he can be a good babyface. I thought he was fine in his feud with Rollins back in 2015. But this 2017, not really one of his best years, but I feel like he really thrives as a heel even more. He's at his best there. And for tonight's show, I give it a B as well, as you gave it as well, Lauren. That was my grade as well. So yeah, thank you for being in the live chat, Lauren, and for your questions as well. And for what's your name again? I'm trying to look back. Demon Jackson Jr. is good talking to you on Twitter as well. And when he has good face views, he is awesome. I indeed agree. So yeah, thank you guys again for tuning in for this live stream. And if you're watching this video after this has been posted, what are your thoughts on tonight's episode of SmackDown Live? Again, I gave it a B, so did Lauren. A lot of people seem to give it an A on my Twitter poll, and for so seemed pretty enjoyable. I enjoy as well. I thought we had a good kickoff for SmackDown Live this year. Hopefully, we can make SmackDown Live great again in 2018, because it went downhill in 2017. And thank you for the positive note on the stream. Good night as well. What are your thoughts on tonight's episode of SmackDown Live? Leave your thoughts down in the comment section below. And as we sure as always, click that like and subscribe for more content to come to this channel. And follow me on Twitter as well at DemandAirboy93. I should be live again tomorrow night for my NXT review. I'm going to maybe do my retro review for the 4th Royal Rumble match back in 1991 tonight. I will watch more tomorrow and get more of those going as well. So yeah, just stay tuned for more to come to this channel. And yeah, so this was fun. So with that, guys, I am checking out. Until then, have a great night.